Good evening. Hope everybody is well. I'm going to do my best tonight. I don't feel any better than what I did last night. And in fact, last night I probably had quite a bit more sleep to work on than what I do tonight. So finally, about 2 in the morning, I finally went and got into the prepper closet there. Dug out the old M17, I think that's what that is, M7 or M17, something like that. And I didn't think I had anything in there as far as like ibuprofen or anything like that, because I thought I had rated it previously for the same issue, tooth problem. And luckily, I found one single pack of 1 year out of date aspirin. So I didn't balk at that. I took them anyway. And after that, I finally got rest. But, I probably fell asleep about, 2:30. And then up probably, I don't know, 5:36, I think. I don't remember for sure. Wasn't enough, I know that. And I just, I'm not feeling that great. A lot of pain. And I'm just really just thoroughly disgusted. And, it just, I've got a whole lot of reasons to blow up. And it's been everything I can, taken everything I can not to. I mean, and I'm not talking about world events or anything. That again, that shit I can detach from. That's nothing. But there are things that are a little bit harder to detach from. And it just frustrating. And then when you're in pain and it's just never ending, just a nagging pain, it's messed up. But it is what it is, and I've lived thus far, so I'll live as long as I guess he tells me I have to. Anyway, as you know, craziness going on outside of this living room. Trump, I guess, was raided. Just nonsense. And y'all know, or should know by now, maybe some of you don't, let me make it very clear. I am not a fan of any politician. Period. I am not a fan of any politician. I will not fly the flag for any politician or any political party, not for 1 second. I'll wipe them off the bottom of my shoe equally. I just don't see any one of them. I mean, there are a couple. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there is absolutely not a single good person. That's nonsense. But there are so few of them that it ain't going to make a difference. There's no way with literally the handful of good people we have in office that we can fix anything. Personally, I only can tell you 2 that I really liked. And I know one of them, one of them got it, and that's Carrie Lake. I know she got it, or at least I'm pretty sure she got it. I know they were trying to mess around with giving her the win for a while there, but I think they finally did it. And then Tyler Lee from, I think it's North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I don't know if he just went through the primaries or whatever. I don't know where he's at on his quest. But I absolutely wish him the best. I really do have a lot of confidence in him being a man of his word. He was running with the convoy when it was running across the country here. He left out with them in California and came all the way to Hagerstown, Maryland, and stayed with them for quite a while until he had to move on and do things for his campaign. So, but I was highly impressed with what he had to say. Other than that, It is what it is. And it's kind of to a point to where there is so much evil. It doesn't matter what side gets in control. It just doesn't. Just a fact. I know people don't like when I tell the truth, but I don't know what to tell them. I'm not going to lie to make anybody feel warm and fuzzy. That's not what we do. Let's see where. Oh, I was trying to find the window. I do have a few tabs open today. This first one I'm just going to cover real quick before because I'm not going to spend much time on it, because to be honest, it doesn't deserve any time spent on it. And I'm going to do it real quick before we talk about what's going on with Trump. But U.S. senators battle over who can get pregnant. Really, seriously, we need to, right now, we need to knock the shit off. And if somebody cannot define what a woman is or a man, they need to be sent down the damn road. Enough. I am fed up. I am fed up. I am so tired of these mentally ill scumbags. Ugh. You know, and I know it's the left that's doing this. I don't pander to any side, and I want to make that very clear, because the right's not any damn better. But these scumbags on the left, everything that makes us an individual, they were trying to strip away. And they're trying to do it in the name of being inclusive and all accepting. It's kind of hard to be an individual when you have a planet of gender fluid people that can't even address one another by the sex they were born with. They need to be sent down the road. The politicians, anybody that works in health, anybody that works in education, down the damn road. You made your choice. You wanted to be mentally ill, even though you probably aren't. Down the road. And I know that probably doesn't fit well. I'm telling you, I'm in rare form tonight. There are things I am just fed up with. And it's not, believe it or not, the biggest parts aren't this crap. Anyway. Sorry. That just, I'm so fed up of hearing about how anything common sense is hate. And that's what I'm saying. We need to quit playing with them. There's so many people that just play. Stop. Stop. I know people get pissed off at me on YouTube because I tell the truth about other channels and stuff. I don't hold back. Man, there's some pretty big dirt bags. Once you peel everything away and you look at what it is they're doing and their motivation behind it, pull all that emotion away, you know, especially when they tell you about how great of a viewer you are and you're the smartest viewer that they've ever had. And there's a reason I don't do that, folks. It's not that I don't like you, but 99% of you I don't personally know. How can I sit there and tell you how much I you know, it makes no sense to me. And people eat it up. It's that crazy. I guess people seek attention that much. They need that much that they will accept a fake. I don't get it. But again, it is what it is. That's why I don't get a lot of things. And you know what? I graduated 2 years late. Right? The second year late was my senior year, and I went to one of my classes, and the teacher told me he knew I had to have every single credit, and we're like 2 weeks to the end of school graduation, right? And he knew I needed every single credit in order to graduate. And so he said, I'm going to flunk you. This dude hated me. Turtlehead. That's what we called him. And so he flunked me. Bastard. And I said, okay. It's good for the goose is good for the gander. I wanted that diploma. And if I set my mind to something, it's going to happen. And I only needed to go half a year in order to gain enough credits to be able to graduate. But I figured, hey, if I'm going to be here for another damn year, why don't I make sure that I'm around for things like prom, and why not? Because I think I missed that year. My senior year, I don't know that I went, or I went to I think I went to another prom maybe. Not ours in Highland. And, yeah, because I went to somebody else's prom. That's right. I first went to our prom my junior year, and then my senior year I went to prom at our rival school. Triad. How dare I? But anyway, I figured, well, I'll be around for another prom. Why not? I only needed half a year to graduate. But got to make sure that I was going to make it. So the first semester, I had a class I knew I would pass. I don't even honestly remember what the hell it was, but a class I knew I would pass. And then guess what I did for the second semester? I took his class. Because, damn it, if I was going to be stuck there, he was going to have to deal with me. So, yeah. That was anyway, I didn't really mean to get, the more important one was the first year that I was held back. Second time was just humorous. The first time I was held back, 5th grade. Reason being, I was too immature, and the other kids would run all over me. You want to know the truth? I didn't understand how or why kids would treat each other so cruel. And so I largely kept to myself because I really didn't want anything to do with anybody. I mean, look how they're acting. That's not how I was raised to act. I was raised to act with some respect and some damn common sense, and here in 5th grade, I'm watching crap that I don't want no part of. I just want to be I'm there to learn. To this day, I don't understand it. Why the fuck can't somebody just do what the hell they're supposed to do? And just do it. I was there to learn. That's the only reason why I was in school. And not the way it's supposed to be. So I have a feeling that it wasn't just that. I think there were not anything really related to do with me. I just think it was one of those deals where if they could convince parents for another year of schooling, I think they were all for it. It seems like, and I don't remember off the top of my head, it seems like at some point I ran across something that was going on right about that time in the education system that made it make a lot of sense. And I'm just not drawing it to my head. Not a lot of sense in my case, but a lot of sense that I wasn't the only cat. There were a lot of kids being held back during that time period, and it was because of this program or whatever. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. But to this very day, that is why I have the biggest problem dealing with people. For one, I think if somebody asks you something, I think you should respect it. Somebody asks you to stop doing something, you should respect it. If somebody asks you not to walk in their yard, I think you should respect it. These are basic things. And we can't even do that? So you have to understand the mindset that I come from. To begin with, I come from an absolute 100% no bullshit mindset. I'm going to be clear with you, and I just expect people to be clear with me. That's it. No games. No virtue signaling. Just straight communication. Howdy ears to you. I don't know. That's just me. I'm telling you, I'm in rare form tonight, folks. And I guess I apologize. I don't know. I feel it's well deserved. Actually, I feel I'm well deserved one hell of an explosion. But I'm really trying to do what's right. I spent an entire lifetime screwing things up. And I know I shouldn't rely on other people to do the right thing. But it just damn well gets frustrating after a while. Especially even the most basic of things. I mean, anyway, let me bring you on over. Otherwise, I'm in rare form, and a lot of frustration. It's kind of frustrating, to be real honest, that I can't even have a damn bottle of ibuprofen so that I can sleep tonight. And to be honest, I'm probably pretty pissed off about that. Let's see. Oh, I did switch it over. Sorry. I'm here. Counts, right? Trump says FBI raided his Florida home and broke into his safe. Now, I'm going to be real honest. I haven't dug into this at all, so I didn't pre-read it. I think I caught something somewhere where I don't know. I'm not going to say what I think it had to do with, because now I can't even recall. Former President Donald Trump said FBI agents raided his Mar-a-Lago estate on Monday and broke into his safe, coming amid a U.S. Justice Department investigation of Trump's removal of official presidential records to the Palm Beach, Florida club. The Justice Department declined to comment on the raid, which Trump in a statement said involved a large group of FBI agents. The FBI's headquarters in Washington and its field office in Miami both declined comment. The search appeared to concern boxes of documents that Trump brought with him from the White House to the Florida club, the New York Times reported, citing two unnamed people familiar with the investigation. Trump said the estate is currently under siege, raided, and occupied. He did not say why the raid took place. After working and cooperating with a relevant government agencies, this announced raid on my home was not necessary or appropriate, Trump said, adding that they even broke into my safe. CNN reported that Trump was not at the estate at the time of the raid, and that the FBI had executed a search warrant to enter the premises. CNN said the search was tied to classified documents, citing unnamed sources. Trump, who has made his club in Palm Beach his home since leaving the White House in January 2021, has generally spent summers at his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, because Mar-a-Lago typically closes in May for the summer. The Justice Department launched an early-stage investigation into Trump's removal of records to the Florida estate, a source familiar with the matter said in April. The investigation comes after U.S. National Archives and Records Administration in February notified Congress that it had recovered about 15 boxes of White House documents from Trump's Florida home, some of which contained classified materials. The U.S. House of Representatives Oversight Committee at the time announced it was expanding an investigation into Trump's actions and asked the archives to turn over additional information. Trump previously confirmed that he had agreed to return certain records to the archives, calling it an ordinary and routine process. The alleged raid would add to the former president's legal woes, which include a congressional probe into January 6, 2021, assault by Trump supporters on the U.S. Capitol, and accusations that Trump tried to influence Georgia's 2020 election results. In addition, the U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C. is probing a scheme by Trump's allies to submit slates of fake electors in a failed bid to overturn the 2020 presidential election. So I don't know. I don't trust any of these people. Honestly, though, I don't think they were there for those intentions. I don't. I think more likely what they were there for was to try to get some information on what Trump's plans are. Maybe. And that's if this isn't all a dog and pony show. I'm telling you, I don't trust any of it. None of it. I don't trust a single one of them. It is so hard to talk to a Democrat about Obama and the just massive amounts of people that he was bombing with drones, because they'll deny it. I honestly think that if there is actually a such thing as right and left and all that good stuff, I think that they were after any types of records he might have that would show, like if he was going to run for office, and possibly any details about, possibly some campaign plans or whatever. I think it was probably in reality election related, is what I think. But yeah, it's crazy. It is truly crazy what's going on. Like I said, I don't trust any of them. With Obama, I've tried. I couldn't tell you the amount of times I've been called a liar or a Trump fan or whatever the hell, because I would say Obama, he bombed the hell out of innocent civilians left and right with drones. It was nonstop. And they don't want to believe it. Well, when you talk about things like red flag laws and Operation Warp Speed and all that good stuff, well, then all of a sudden the truth has to be morphed here and there and, everywhere until he's made out some kind of knight in shining armor. And he's not. Not a single one of them are. You don't make it that far in politics as a knight in shining armor. It doesn't work. They'll destroy you. Back in whatever the hell year it was, what was it, 2016, I guess? You know who I wanted to get in? And I'm not talking after it broke down to Trump, Hillary. I wanted Ben Carson. Why? Because he was the only common sense choice, in my opinion. But they will do unspeakable things to their own in order to get that slot, and that's what happened to Mr. Carson's. I can't blame the guy. I do have a couple, three other articles that I wanted to talk to you about. This one is something we might want to pay attention to. It's titled "Overwhelmed, Cops Combat Violent Crime as Ranks Dwindle." It says here, 5 years. I'm going to go ahead and read the article. As long as it's, I may not read the whole, no, I'm not reading that whole damn article. I'll read, I'll probably read to that video or whatever. Anyway, 5 years after Brian Spaulding's parents found him fatally shot in the home he shared with roommates, his slaying remains a mystery that seems increasingly unlikely to be solved as Portland, Oregon police confront a spike in killings and more than 100 officer vacancies. The detective assigned to investigate the death of Spaulding, a chiropractic assistant who didn't do drugs, wasn't in a gang and lived close to the house where he was born, left in 2020 in a wave of retirements, and the detective assigned to it now is swamped with fresh cases after Portland's homicide rate surged 207% since 2019. Imagine that. To us, it's not a cold case, said George Spaulding, who has his son's signature tattooed on his arm. We're not dissatisfied with Police Bureau because I think they're doing the best they can, he said. They are just overwhelmed. It's insane. From Philadelphia to Portland to Los Angeles. All blue cities? Killings and gun violence are rising at the same time. Officers worn out by the pandemic and disillusioned over the calls to divest from policing that followed George Floyd's murder are quitting or retiring faster than they can be replaced. There's a lot of... that's certainly playing a part of it. But I think they're starting to see that there's a lot of folks that are done. They're just done. And this whole running roughshod over people anymore isn't going to be as easy to do. So, honestly, I think that there's a fair amount of them quitting because they're not viewed the same way they were 5 years ago. Okay? And they can't feel quite so safe now doing stupid shit. I'll put it that way. That's my opinion. I think that's why a lot of them are walking away. Because believe me, there are good ones. There's a whole lot of crap. Departments are scrambling to recruit in a tight labor market. Think of it this way. At this point, the majority of those that are in there are the ones that just up and agreed, hey, jab me in the arm. Right? Because guess what? The holdouts will let go. The people that said, nah, I ain't about this. A lot of them aren't there anymore. So, out of what's left, what do you think? It says many have shifted veteran officers to patrol, breaking up specialized teams built over decades in order to keep up with 911 calls, 911 calls. We're getting more calls for service, and there are fewer people to answer them, said Philadelphia police spokesperson Eric Grip, whose department has been rotating employees from specialty units for short assignments to increase patrols. This isn't just an issue in Philadelphia. Departments all over are down, and recruitment has been difficult. Los Angeles, which is down more than 650 officers from its pre-pandemic staffing level, shuttered its animal cruelty unit and downsized its human trafficking, narcotics, and gun details, and reduced its homeless outreach teams by 80%. Homeless outreach. You mean the people that go and destroy all of their personal property and, throw their tents and stuff into the back of a trash truck? That homeless outreach team? Seattle recently announced $2 million in hiring bonuses and benefits to lure recruits amid a critical officer shortage that has been hampered by the investigation of serious crimes. So, yeah, by the way, I can't support that. Somebody's already in a bad enough way to take what little bit that they have, and throw it in the back of a trash truck and threaten them with arrest if they don't leave because they don't have nowhere to live? Man, I ain't about hearing about all the excuses as to why they got there. It's not about that. Maybe if we didn't treat people like that, they wouldn't be trapped there. Maybe. Just a thought. Oh, but they don't want help. They don't want help from somebody that's going to hold it over them. I'm in the same damn boat right now. I'll be damned if I go and beg the government or anybody else to help me. I tried once. I'm not going to sit there and beg. I'm not going to beg for anybody. Nope. So I completely get what they're saying. Completely. Russia suspends U.S. inspections of nuclear military sites. Not going to read all of this either, but essentially they are reneging on the START treaty. Now, I can't say anything to that. What am I supposed to say to that when we backed out of other treaties? So I can't, I can't say nothing to that. I really can't. Again, it's not picking a side. It's just, hey, there's nothing that in my opinion, nothing in my opinion that we really have to say on it. I really don't. Look at what we've been doing. I'm not one of these people that can close my eyes to what my team's doing and just point at the other team. Can't do it. Maybe there's a reason why I started out the show tonight the way I did. Maybe it's to help people understand a little bit more how I tick and why I feel the way I do about this stuff. I mean, I'm sorry. I just, like I said the other night, no one's special. No one's special. We're all just flecks of sand. That's it. No one's more special than the other. And to sit there and watch people climb and crawl and scrape and bite each other to get to some imaginary level higher, it's just beyond me. And I see it happening in personal levels. I see it happening in, towns. I see it happening in government. It's ridiculous. See, I was too immature. I didn't understand things, and so I needed to be held back in the 5th grade. Pentagon and by the way, that's how I viewed things. That's how I have always viewed things. I've always been rejected for trying to use common sense and being fair. It's crazy. Pentagon doles out another $1 billion in Ukraine aid. The U.S. Department of Defense has announced its largest military aid package for Kiev since Russia-Ukraine conflict began in February, planning an additional $1 billion in weapons shipments to the former Soviet Republic. I don't have any more answers because there are far too many people that are just good with going and casting that vote, and however it goes, it goes. There's only one way to stop this at this point, and we just have to remove them. Period. The sergeant at arms should have done something long ago. It's like people completely missed that. He directly violated the Supreme Court and rubbed their nose in it. He's funneling money left and right to Ukraine. People in our nation are sinking. Well, all we can do is go vote. Yeah. That was the instructions our forefathers gave us. Go and vote. Vote for your democracy, the same democracy that they despised and fought damn hard to get out of when they created the constitutional republic that we pissed away in less than 100 years. Insane. Anyway, let's do some headlines, shall we? I'm not as pissed off as what it would probably seem. This is my irate. Okay? This is my irate. This is my irate. I'm a rather calm person. I will get animated though, but I have to be pretty pissed off. And don't get me wrong, if it's somebody I'm standing toe-to-toe with that's outright disrespected me, probably gonna knock them on their ass. I got no problem with that. Biden voices unwavering support for Israel. I was actually kind of surprised at that headline, to tell you the truth. But it once again reinforces what I say about it really doesn't matter. Right, left, really doesn't matter. UN chief slams suicidal attacks on nuclear plant. That's probably not a real smart idea. Western sanctions are good for Moscow, says an economist. Well, it's kind of proven to be so far. From what I can tell, Russia's doing pretty good. Ukraine renews strikes on Key Bridge. Beijing keeps Taiwan drills running. Millions of Germans won't be able to pay for heating, says the union. Absolutely insane. I'm not for communism or anything like that, don't get me wrong. But it is absolutely despicable to put people in a position where they don't know which one to take care of, whether they have to have electricity or heat or food or medicine or gas to get to work so they can pay bills the following week. You know, it's just mind-blowing to me. And you got politicians that just want to play games back and forth while people are sinking. You know, I commented on something earlier today. It was a Facebook post, and it was talking about landlords. And from the tone of the meme or whatever you want to call it, the post, it was more directed at the little guy, right? Like landlords like ours. And so I spoke up. Damn right I'm going to speak up. The landlord we've got, which is a little guy, you know, the best landlord I've ever had in my life. I mean, this guy is absolutely incredible. And the big property management place in town is a nightmare. They started out with just having government subsidized housing, right? Low-income apartments. They started out with that in town. And then they started buying up, I believe, other apartment buildings in town. And of course, since it's low-income, government subsidized, you have to agree to all their some of them are absolutely insane rules. I'm going to get to that. And then, as if that wasn't enough, they started buying up houses. Well, here's the part that really gets me. These apartment buildings have these messed up rules. You're not allowed to have any kind of outside furniture. You can't have an outside chair. You can't have a patio table. You clearly can't have a grill. I mean, you just nothing. You got to be nothing. And that frustrates me. You know, because I am all about people being able to be an individual, you know? And I see the mental programming that's going on there, and I don't like it. Well, when they started buying up houses and renting those out to people as well, that same rules applied. Here, you're renting a house, and you're not even allowed to put patio furniture outside. Kind of crazy to me. So, I think that people's anger is getting misdirected to the little landlord and not the property management companies, the ones that are actually buying up all the properties and then jacking the rates, the rental fees up sky high. It's not, in most cases, the little guy or gal. And so, anyway, I commented, and it's been a pretty damn popular comment. A lot of times when I speak up on stuff like that, it's I usually get quite a bit of a response. I'm looking to see what the number is the last time. Well, here, let me just click on this and I'll tell you. I had 380 responses. That would be 368 likes, 9 loves, and 3 laughs. Hang on. So here's the thing. I wish folks would stop telling young people how to manage their money. I paid $310 for my first apartment. Based on inflation, it should go for $850 per month now, but the rent is $1,600. You can't personal finance your way out of greedy landlords and depressed wages. Now, I agree with 100%, well, 99% of this, except for the word landlords. I think the word landlords needs to be changed to property management companies. Two different things. Two entirely different things. And I had just posted that, people keep blaming the wrong people because the government is trying to get you to all to own nothing and be happy. They have said it themselves. In most cases, it is not the landlords that own a few properties that are causing the issue. It is the property management companies that own hundreds and hundreds of properties. They are trying to get you to run off all the little guys and gals that are trying to make an honest living so they can control your entire life via these property management companies. The one here won't even let people have outdoor chairs or a patio table. Smoking is not allowed anywhere on the property. They take away as much as they can from you and get you to cheer for more. Be smarter than that. That was my comment. And I'll tell you what, I've spent a good part of the day talking to people in this, and most of it has been absolutely incredible conversations, to be real honest with you. But there was a lady, and I'm not going to out her, I'm not going to put her thing up there, but there was a lady that was talking about how she's barely able to make ends meet with everything going on, and it looks pretty much like she's going to wind up going under if things keep going the way they are. And she owns her house. And she said, there is no way that, I could do it renting. When I say owns her house, I think she's still paying a mortgage, but her mortgage is much cheaper than what most people's rent is. So that's what her point is. If she had to rent, there's absolutely no way that she could make it. And yeah, that's all big issues that need to be dealt with. Abso-freaking-lutely. All right. Let's see. Japan won't quit Russian energy project, says minister. My phone's going off like crazy. I don't have my watch on, so. Let's see. CIA strategy towards China revealed. Federation demands action over Italian chairman's Africa comments. Siemens may keep servicing Nord Stream despite plans to quit Russia. West wants to destroy Russia, says former president. Head of Ukraine's, and I have no idea how that's pronounced, Zaporozhye region orders preparations for referendum on joining Russia. First Ukrainian grain shipment arrives at destination, says media. By the way, isn't this the same region that the power plant is in? So they're getting ready to latch on with Russia, like Crimea wanted to do. And so Ukraine is lobbing missiles in the vicinity of the power plant, and it's Russia's fault. Just an observation. First Ukrainian grain shipment arrived. Oh, I read that. Pentagon hired contractors everywhere on battlefield in Ukraine, says media. EU states police to stop protecting Russian consulates, says the media. I thought that was kind of a holy cow. EU country refuses to share gas. Combat drone plant will open in Ukraine as planned, says envoy. Russia, I hope that thing's like buried real deep. Russia accuses Ukraine of nuclear terrorism. Poland proceeded with its plans for Ukraine, says Moscow. Germany rules out emergency use of Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. CBS censors its own story on foreign weapons missing in Ukraine. Thought that was awful interesting. Italy eyes garbage to replace Russian gas. Finland takes down Moscow gifted World Peace Monument. UK gas exports to EU are toxic, says Financial Times. They say it's got radioactive particles or something in it. I don't know. Russian pontoon crossing to supplement Key Bridge bombed by Ukraine. Palestinian militants issue warning to Israel. Mike Tyson brands TV network Slave Masters. Okay, we got to mention this. We got to talk about this. So here's what's up. Hulu does a documentary on the guy. And essentially, just to be real about it all, he's pissed because he's not getting paid. And so now he thinks he's got rights to say that nobody has the right to be able to make a documentary about it. I don't know where he's pulling this out of. But, documentaries and news have rights that, like, movies don't, right? For movies, doing stuff with movies, there's a lot of different permissions and stuff like that you got to get. To do documentaries and news, a lot of those things are loosened up considerably. And part of that is getting people's permission to do a documentary about them. You don't have to have permission. Anyway, let's see. I mean, how many... Look at the if you want to call them that, documentaries on Trump that have been like on Netflix and stuff like that. Look at... Do you think Trump was good at that? No. Can he do anything about it? No. I mean, if it's got completely untrue things in it, he could go after him for libel and all that. But we know how they all skate around and dance around. It's stupid. Anyway. Global grain prices fall. That is good news when I saw that. Hopefully that continues. I don't know necessarily if this really has to do with the Ukrainian grain shipments going through. I'm thinking that at least part of it does. So let's hope that these grain prices keep falling because, folks, people need feed, and when I say people, we need feed, but people also need feed to feed their animals so that we have something to feed ourselves besides the feed. Let's see. I don't know if you realized or not, but animal feed is probably not really the best thing for humans to eat. German media sheds light on Zelensky's secret deals. Russia suspends U.S. inspections of nuclear military sites. Oh, I covered that. MP of EU nation threatens Russia and China. U.S. addresses attacks on Russian-held nuclear power plant. Of course, the U.S. says that Russia needs to just pull back and just stop, and anything else is irresponsible, and the drill. Kiev's attacks on nuclear plant hold Europe hostage, says Moscow. I thought I read that one. Outbreak of new virus reported in China. I did a report on that earlier. Pardon me. White House unveils Africa strategy. Lavrov to head Russian UN delegation despite U.S. sanctions. U.S. senators battle over who can get pregnant. New York Times writer accuses Trump of flushing documents down the toilet. Head of German parliamentary party names West mistake in Ukraine. Seoul floods after historic rainfall. Ban all Russians everywhere, Zelensky demands. I mean, to me, this is crazy. And why isn't he being called out? Right? Look at how much Trump was called out for any little damn thing he said. But it's okay for Zelensky to say this and it's not discrimination? Man, I just am not going to go along with this one-sided crap. Let's see, I covered that, and we talked about that. And that's it. I don't have any more headlines up there. And my apologies for coming unglued. But, man, enough's enough. Keep getting ready. Because, I mean, I know damn well I'm not the only fed up person. And I really do think that there is at least some of us, and I've already been doing it for years now. I've been waiting on everybody. Will back out of the system and say, no, I'm not taking a part of any of it. No. This is not the country that I was born into. It's not the country I'm going to tolerate. And I'm not going to take part in it. And that's what I did. I stepped away from all of it. I am not going to have anything to do with any of it. I just, it's bullshit when somebody puts in their fair share and then some, and I want to emphasize and then some, and as a result, in the end, be stuck in a position like I'm in. It's crazy. Man, I'm telling you. I was a bust-ass worker. And I'm a little guy. And that's what the problem was. I tore myself up. I wanted to be the best worker. Why? Because that's what I was always told to do. Be the best worker. Be the most valuable worker. Be the most needed. Be the most productive. And I worked myself into the ground. Literally and figuratively. And what do I get for all of that? Because now that I'm broken, I get a big middle finger. Not just by the government, but much of society as well. Might be a little bit to do with why I personally can't wait for the balloon to go up. Maybe I feel like it's time that everybody comes down to the same level. If I'm not going to be allowed to climb up, and that's selfish. But that is what it is. I'm tired of fighting to gain nothing. Just tired. Anyway, I'm out of here. Sorry for all the ranting and pissing and moaning. You know that's not a usual thing here. I guess we all have our days. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully in a much better frame of mind. And hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.